waste liquid. We started chimpanzees there. So she started the research in 1960. That research is somehow being considered as the longest private research uninterrupted that has been uninterrupted to date. So it's still going on. The only thing that we do, we are changing the research topics, coming out from behavior study to the relationship study between community, between mother and child, the feeding habits, and it goes up to the DNA studies. Now, today I'm not going to talk much about the research. I'm going to talk about the conservation. Because after the research, we got a lot of data, and we wanted to utilize that data. So, and we wanted to see that our research subject is being conserved and protected. So, in 91, Jane established the Institute, which is a youth environmental movement that promotes environmental education for school children. It starts from kindergarten all the way to high school. It's a hands-on project, and it's all over the country, and it has been adopted in 91 countries globally. So that's research. It focuses on people, wildlife, and forests. Now, that is the youth. The main objective of research is to have a more responsible future community, because we are what we are now because we lack exposure and access to the conservation information. That's why we are messing up with the world, with the environment that we depend on. So then it came up like we are observing the rapid deforestation, and so we established this project that we call Takara. It started in 1994 as a project, but now it's no longer a project. It's now an approach. So this is the history I have gone through and doing the network. That's how Seychelles has grown. Started in Dar es Salaam, but now it's more accepted in the US and in the East, up to Australia, and it's still growing. It's still going on. Now, I said we are committed to protect the chimpanzees. And chimpanzees are mainly found in Africa, and that's the chimpanzee range where you find chimpanzees. It's mostly in West Africa. So if you look, Tanzania is almost the far east end of the chimpanzee range. And we don't have that many chimpanzees in Tanzania. There are countries that have a lot of chimpanzees like Congo, DRC. And you can to some extent, but most of the Western countries. And this is you can see how DRC has as many chimpanzees. Actually, 3 countries among that I see has almost 85% of the chimpanzees in the world. Tanzania is estimated to have something like 2,500 chimpanzees left, and these are all in Western Tanzania, and in 3 regions almost, in Kigoma, Katavi, and Rukwa. The chimpanzees that you hear, they are in Bugogo Island and Mwanza, they are not native chimpanzees. They were brought from laboratories because chimpanzees are so close to human beings. We say almost 82.5%. 82.5%. We are genetically related to the chimpanzees. So they were used for medical research. And when the world thought like we were mistreating them, so they were donated, most of them from Germany, and Tanzania accepted to take care of them. So these are the small population of about 20 to 50 now, chimpanzees there later on the world in Mwanza, Lake Victoria in Mwanza. Now, in conservation, we have the Takada approach. And this is, it has a long history that Jane wanted to say here. I wish they could connect to it.
We fixed it.
You fixed it?
You want to do it now?
Yes, please.
Let's try it. Come on back here, Fran. It says we're going to make this work, and the Bluetooth is working. Okay. So there's a hope.
So, Jane, the story you hear about Jane Goodall being a researcher, and then she went to a conference. From the conference, she became an activist. Then from a researcher to an activist. And then she thought, like, what can we do to protect the chimpanzees? So she took a flight over Gombe and realized that it's all deforested. And Gombe looked like an island. So that's where she got an idea. We have to do something. And to be frank, at the beginning, the team thought we have to do land. That's the easy solution. But when we went back to the community, we found that doesn't work. It was very expensive, risky to change the environment, and easy to eaten by termites, especially drought. The seaweeds are very sensitive, so we opted other means. But again, we had to, in any case, we had to work with the community very closely, and we had to let the community take over the activities. So what we did was to establish a community-based conservation project, which had
This is, I'm apologizing, not your fault. We'll do our best. Let's hear the video for...
And I almost could be speaking to hello everyone. I really wish I was with you, and I almost could be. I'm speaking to you from Arusha just before your exciting and very important conference. But unfortunately, I just had to leave and commitments. I think most of you know that I spent many years studying chimpanzees in Gombe National Park. And they were the best days of my life. After I got my PhD, I went back, and we were learning more and more about chimpanzee behavior. I put together a tiny research team. The study, by the way, is still going on 63 years later. We're still learning new things. But when I got my PhD and went back to Gombe, it was not just learning about chimpanzees, but I could spend hours out in the rainforest learning about the interconnection between the plants and animals making up this beautiful ecosystem and how each one is interdependent. And it was in 1986 that I helped put together a big conference inviting scientists from, by then, there were 5 other sites where chimpanzees were being studied across Africa. When I began, it was just me. And at that conference, I had a shock. It was a 4-day conference, mostly to discuss how chimp behavior differs or doesn't differ in different environments. But we had a session on conservation. And at that session, right across Africa, forests were disappearing and chimpanzee numbers were decreasing. But at the same time, I learned a lot about the problems faced by so many African people, the crippling poverty, the lack of good health and education systems, the degradation of the land, how people were moving further into chimp habitat with their livestock. And it came to a head when I flew over the tiny Gombe National Park, the smallest national park in Tanzania. And when I arrived in 1960, it was part of the equatorial forest belt that stretched almost unbroken across Africa. But when I flew over Gombe in the late 1980s, it was a little patch of forest surrounded by completely bare hills. The elite forest left in the steep ravines where people couldn't farm. And there were more people than the land could support. Farmland overused and infertile. And people were cutting down the trees to survive, to get more land, to grow more food, to feed their growing families, or to make money from charcoal or timber. And that's when it hit me. We don't help these people find ways of making a living without destroying their farm. We can't save chimpanzees, forests, or anything else. And so, from that moment, started to try and work out a plan. Got in touch with a wonderful man, George Stronda, who worked 15 years in Tanzania, mainly in agriculture. And together we formed this program, which is known as TACARI, the Jane Goodall Institute's method of community-led conservation. It was quite unique back then, and we tried to get money from the European Union, and the big problem was, they said, well, you're not asking for enough money, we don't give you the grants. And George and I were saying, but we don't know if this is going to work. So finally we got the grant over a 3-year period. And we started off not as a bunch of arrogant white people going into a small African village and telling them we were there to help them turn things around. No, it was a group of 7 local Tanzanians who went into the 12 villages around Gombe and asked them what they thought we could do to make their lives better. And they started off, we want more food, we want better health and education facilities. So that's where we began. And restoring fertility to overused farmland without the use of chemical pesticides and herbicides, and working with the local Tanzanian government to improve health and education, in some cases actually building clinics. And then we moved on to water management programs, scholarships to give girls a chance of secondary education. Back then that was quite rare. Microfinance programs so that mainly women could start their own small environmentally sustainable businesses, and family planning information, which was eagerly received. And then finally, adding in sophisticated technology, GIS, GPS, satellite imagery, the use of drones. Sorry about that, at the airport, the airport's very close. And so the program now is in 104 villages, more or less throughout range in Tanzania, and 6 other African countries where JGI works with chimpanzees have TACARI programs. And it gives me enormous pleasure to introduce your next speaker, Emmanuel Mtiti. He was the very first person recruited back in 1994 to help start this TACARI program. He and 6 others, one of them, Kushula, is still with us today. He's a forester, and Mtiti was in health. So, to introduce the program by someone who's been with us all these years, who's one of my very very best and my favorite people. Emmanuel Mtiti can tell you some of the secrets of the success of this Dakari program. And I wish that we could give you all copies of this book. It took many years to produce, but it's the story of Dakari that is available on Amazon. So, Mr. Mtiti.
Thank you. That's Jane. I'm sorry for the noise and for the flight originating from the airport. Well, Jane just said it all. I don't know whether I still have to say anything anymore. But just to say the principles of what is Dakari. Can you go to select?
Yeah, I hope so.
So we have to go community-based, just like what Jane said. And the reason was we were looking for ownership and credibility and sustainability of the project. Because being researchers, at the beginning, we were not that easily accepted by the community. Most people thought the Gombe National Park belongs to us. Because Jane started researching Gombe well before it was promoted to be a national park. It was just a forest reserve. And when we went to the people, they said, these guys are coming and they want us to regenerate our forest. And once the forests are up and the chimpanzees are back, they will extend Gombe National Park. Because everyone knows around Gombe National Park that Gombe is so tiny. The chimpanzee range used to be all the way from going through Kigoma and Katanga, and it's all residential places and farms. So that's where the problem starts. This is a typical of the kind of degradation that is taking place in areas around Gombe National Park and many other chimpanzee ranges, chimpanzee habitats. This village, you cannot believe, is just immediate south of Gombe National Park. And as we were going through the environment, we realized a number of things, that there were causes to what we are seeing as the degradation of the environment. One was deforestation due to a number. People wanted to use, they depend on the same natural resources, and again they wanted to farm. The other one, the farming then resulted into soil erosion, and then we had habitat loss, just as you said. But Kigoma was very specific for rapid population growth. And most of it, Kigoma has a population growth of about 2.9% per year. But most of it was exaggerated due to incoming refugees from Congo and Burundi. There was a time when the population growth rate of Kigoma was 4.8, second to Dar es Salaam, which is 4.9. So the population growth was, in a short time, really high, and so they depended on our natural resources. I think I've managed to understand. But as scientists, we literally thought like, this is easy. If there are no trees, we plant trees. But when we went to people and asked them, can you cooperate? Because there seems to be a problem. We used participatory means to talk to them. And we said, we had starters and discussions. they didn't really see that environmental degradation was a big problem. You know, when we are doing the appraisal of their issues, pressing issues, they gave a list of 10. We wrote a list of 10. And environmental degradation was somehow like number 7, number 8, number 9. In some of the villages, number 10. What was their problems? You know, their priority problems were health, education, water, and access to capital. So we were totally confused. We want them to conserve the habitats and conserve their forests for their watersheds and other things. So, but this is their priority. They have just taken, listed their priority. Those were the top 4. That means we have to conclude that environmental degradation was not their perceived problem. Why? Because it starts slowly. They start by cutting trees behind their homes, and then they go slowly up, and finally they find themselves going 10 kilometers. Now because it is slowly growing, they get adapted to it. But again, it's an area of poverty. You see, the mama there was trying to plant some trees. But all in all, this potential, the Western Tanzania is a good area. And that's why we still have some chimpanzees and a lot of other wildlife. And it's really very huge and nice watershed. That's why we have big rivers like Malagarasi River is one of the big rivers in Tanzania. But during the deforestation rate, you will find out that progressively, since after the Ujamaa villages were started in 1977 and put people in concentrated villages, the deforestation started right from the village center going outwards. The red color is deforestation. But still, you have some people who go deep into the forest and start cutting trees and doing some other unfriendly activities. And this included even the livestock keepers, because they are agro-pastoralists. But Kigoma, again, the Western Tanzania, according to the data by then, I'm not sure, I haven't got the recent data, but it used to be the leading in wildfire. So there's the country fire map, and you can see how much people burn their forests. So all these were really things that we realized, and were getting up to the problems that we are going to face. Now, this is a new problem that started in around 2010. We started slowly seeing the landscape. Why am I saying? Because a lot of people are not cattle headers, are not livestock keepers. This area, the Western Tanzania, used to be infested by excessive floods. So there was very little opportunity for people in Western Tanzania to keep livestock. But it happened that as we were getting refugees, and refugees were put deep in the forest, the refugee relief organizations and the government had to try to reduce the problem, the excessive flood problem. Well, they were very effective, and we no longer have excessive floods. But it creates an opportunity for livestock keepers now to come. And they're coming from northern Tanzania and central Tanzania. Mwanza, Shinyanga coming southwards, and then Tabora, Dodoma coming westwards. Why? We still have forests and grounds to feed their livestock, and we have water. And looking at the biomass, you may have seen this map anywhere else. The right map is about the biomass in Tanzania. if you look at the north, somewhere up there at the corner, that's the mountain Kilimanjaro. That's where you see a little bit of trees, some trees. And then towards the left, there's Ngorongoro. But look at Serengeti. Serengeti is really nothing. But we are blessed to still have some biomes in the west and the south of Tanzania. So that's where we are talking about. That's where the churches are. And that's where our project is located. So this is a project, and it covers about 1.7 million hectares, and we are serving about 600 people. And it also have two large refugee settlements, Ishama and Katova. These have about 80,000 people. The government tried to naturalize them, but there's still some refugees, and some went to Burundi and then came back again. So it all adds to the burden of the rights that we We did threat assessment. The red arrow means west. The yellow, high. But I don't want to bother you with that. What really I want to bring you to understand is that the red is the total, in total, is that we are, the environment in that area, in Western Tanzania, is at very high risk because of the human activities. So we have a problem goal. Now, as we were trying to put together, because we had to go back to the drawing board and try to see what will be our goal. Then, our goal has two components. One is the forest, which is also the habitat for wildlife, but secondly, is the people who depend on the forest. Because if you let people not cut trees, what do you want them to do? How are they going to cook? How are they going to construct their houses? The fishing boats. So we had to find the meeting point between the natural resources and the people who depend on them. So we had even to invent our approach, and this is what we call the Takari model. Yes. So this is the Takari model. I'm trying to go very fast, sorry, because time is not enough. So we had to do to develop a model that will incorporate the priority problems that I have said about earlier on, and the ecological needs of the area. So what we are basically focusing at as JGI is biodiversity conservation. But in order to do that, we need to support the community through socio-economic support. That includes the COCOBAs, community banks. And it also includes income generating activities, agriculture being one of them. So we know that to target avoid agriculture, so sustainable farming techniques has to be promoted. I'm lucky that people who spoke, my colleagues who talked before me, have very well elaborated about agriculture. So I'm not going to talk. And then other ecologically friendly methods like beekeeping, mushroom collection, those are the other activities that we are promoting. And now we have the issue of family planning. Our initial thought was that because the population is growing so fast, then we need to educate people on family planning. We know that we cannot get immediate effect, but in the long run, it might pay. It might pay off. The Burundians who are in settlements, they want to have many children so that when they go back to Burundi, they can fight. They can go back and fight and take over the wrong notion. But we have to work with them to understand that it's important to have many types of family. And then governance. Governance is, I'm not only saying the Burundians are the ones who are not following family plan, Tanzanians as well, the local communities. Kigoma is one among the leading regions for fertility. And then is the issue of governance. Governance is that these are issues about corruption. People who have power are not really taking care. I mean, they are not.
Someone's car.
Doing their job very well.
You know whose?
They don't. You have the committees, for example, the environmental committees, but they're not doing their duty very well. So we are promoting governance. And then land use planning has become a core activity. So I may say that we are doing land use planning-based conservation. So, in summary, our principles are from the center, which starts by listening. It starts by engaging. So we engage people to understand the problem. We make them realize and identify their own problems. Jane said it. We don't go and tell them you have a problem. No, we go to the people. We tell them, or we bring a starter and let them discuss what are the problems and what they can do. They come up with a plan and who can do what. And then as we get there, we keep on listening. We keep on listening. So what we normally say, if you want to go to the people and work with them, you have to have elephant ears, so that you can hear without a mistake. And then and then we let them understand. Understanding is really bad. You would have thought that when someone understands, you have to get them to understand. But the best understanding is where they do, and then they discover their own mistakes. Then they say, oh, now we have understood. But you provide them with information. For example, we brought in GIS to top up what they know. GIS is more sensitive. We give them maps so that they can understand. We didn't let them collect their own information. These are the forest monitors and other volunteers. They're just volunteers. They collect the information themselves, they analyze the information, and then we top up with GIS, then they really understand, and then we facilitate. And after going through the cycle, we step back. We don't want to create over-dependency. So we step back, but it might be unfair to think that just because we have gone through the cycle, they are now experts to do conservation. So we don't really engage with them physically, but we have to look what they are doing and then provide advice. So we become their consultants at that point. And this slide here shows the forest monitor collecting data and what's the village chairperson. And they decide what to do about it. For example, there is a village where forest monitor went into the forest taking data. And he saw the bullet, firing the bullet to remains. The shell, the cartridge, yes. the bullet cartridge. And he took a photo of it. And when we were reviewing his lecture, we were like, it's so crazy. Why should he take a photo of the cartridge? But then we got to realize that cartridge was meaning, the meaning of this cartridge was that because there were no forests, then all the wildlife were gone. But now with the forest coming back, the wildlife are coming back. Now people are starting hunting. You know, so they were poaching now. The poaching came back. So that was the message. So it was about the village to see how they are going to manage poachers. And I talked about land use planning. You may be tempted to go and say, we know we have land use, so we can plan for the village. But what we do, we let them first conceptualize their village on the ground, and then we transfer that map using GIS into a proper map like the yellow one. And what they do, they plan for residential areas, grazing areas, farm areas, other watershed areas that need to be protected, and then they come up with bylaws on how they're going to implement it. This is one example of land use plan of one village, Karaganza. And this is one of the villages that contributes to the corridor. When they were coming together, we had an idea that Gombe chimpanzees threatened. The ability of Gombe chimpanzees is threatened because of the inbreeding. So we were talking to the communities that it's better we connect the chimpanzees of Gombe to the neighboring country, Burundi, so that to improve the gene pool. And through the land use plan, that's what we've done. They've created a corridor. Yes. Those are the villages, they are big. Yes, go ahead. Okay. Again. Again. So you see how they were so creative, and they have agreed and have opted to give away their land. Of course, they need the land for activities. But now, after understanding, they have prioritized conservation more than any other priority. And yes, now you see the corridor that has been created is almost twice as much as Gombe. Gombe has about 100 chiefs, and we have already found 22 chiefs. We don't know where they are coming. And recently we found female chiefs, a female chief in Gombe. We don't know where it came from. Most likely, maybe it came from Burundi. And then by having other chiefs coming into our chiefs, that improves the gene pool. So that's really not a...
No question. We don't go through it? Okay.
This is so, these are the benefits of land use planning and community-led conservation. That by the time we started conservation, only 9% of our area was protected. But now we have something like so you can see we have achieved 52% area of the area being protected, which means half of the area in the landscape is now protected, which is, and maybe as we go, they might opt for more. Now, these were maps that we printed and given to gather information. It was interesting. One day, we were at a village and we had a meltdown, and we had a group of women. Yes, please go. Yes. We had a group of women, and then you could easily think like people who didn't go to school cannot interpret maps. But it was very strange and very interesting that maps became the way to make conservation people understand conservation much better. And one lady said, he looked at the map and he was trying to interpret it, and he said, oh, I found my farm, and this is the tree where I put my child under the shed when I'm farming. So they internalize the maps and they start putting them into action. They found that that area is theirs and they use it. So if they can use it much better, that's an advantage to them. Now, these are my last slides anyway. I've tried to go faster so that you don't miss your lunch. And it really pays. I just brought a few examples for you to see. For example, it's a win-win situation because it's true they need that land. See on the left in the year 2005. Those are the farmers that have here the forest. They need food to eat. But then they have realized, of course, we brought in other people, experts in agriculture and other things. They realized that they can go into and farm into the valley, not on the hills. And then they have abandoned the farms. Now this is what happened. And this plan was made during the village language plan. Next. Look at the farms again on the right. They were all up here. But then they have moved the farms to the bottom, to the valley. And now the hills are regenerated. Next. Let's go back. We have had people who have been utilizing every inch possible up to the very edge of Gombe. Now we started to. And Gombe was, the least polluted Gombe was becoming higher, bigger and bigger. They've gone to the Gombe boundary, like as if they were in a saloon trying to shave Gombe boundary. And that was really very bad. And actually, sometimes they went safely into Gombe and cut trees. So what came around is that they have now left that area and regeneration is ready. Let's compare that and what follows. That's a village that now has regeneration dispersed. Another village here, this entire village that once had a flood, there was flooding. And now look at the flooding. Can you go back? Look at the stream. It has expanded because of the flooding. But now because there are trees, the stream has reduced. But it's still bringing more water than before. Please. Now, this is the book Jane has said. We thought we have to leave something behind for conservationists and people who are interested in agriculture and conservation. So the book is available online. Unfortunately, it's not being sold somewhere anymore. So I want to thank you for listening, not forgetting the people who have been working with us closely.